And we're underway with London receiving the kickoff, and they are just running out of their right corner, that little pocket there, and it's big Reece Kennedy with the first hit up from a forward for this game, and on the first tackle, and now it's Lewis Beanick, and he makes a half break, and he breaks about 2 tackles, and London closing in on that halfway mark with Sam Davis now in dummy half, who's been involved in each ruck so far, except bar one. There's Marcus Stock, and now to big Rob Butler. Rob Butler is tackled on halfway. First set of 6 in this Super League game between London and Leigh, and Ollie Leyland with a end over end high kick. It comes down to Zach Hardiker, and the defence is all over him. A perfect chase from the point of view of the London Broncos. And now Darnell McIntosh will have a little bit of a run. In fact, that's Umila Hanley with the ball now playing it back. And now Darnell McIntosh with the ball. Reece Kennedy up top. Quick play the ball. Tom Ramone now uses that leg drive, and he's lifted in the tackle, but he gets it away. He gets the ball away to Edwin Ipape. And now play is returning to that halfway line, this time with Leigh in possession. And there's John Asiata, half a dummy, takes the tackle of 3 defenders, and also takes play into the London half of the Cherry Red Record Stadium. And it's a big kick from Gareth O'Brien. Josh Rourke is underneath it, and Josh Rourke takes it safely. And London again, an opportunity with the ball. And this isn't a game that they're expected to win. In fact, the winning streak for Leigh against London goes back almost 10 years, 9 years to 2015, 10 in a row games. And that last win, they were both in the championship last time London had a win over Leigh. And there's Marcus Stock. He finds Leyland. Leyland out to Rourke. Rourke chimes into that back line. And he is hauled down on halfway. Gareth O'Brien involved in that tackle. And now Ollie Leyland. Palm back to Elias McCarney. Elias McCarney is 10 metres in from touch, 10 metres into the Leigh half. And once more, we're going to see a kick of sorts here. Ollie Leyland, and again, it's an end-over-end half bomb. And it comes again down to Zach Hardiker, who's again pummeled in a tackle of Reece Kennedy. The last set of 6 was an action replay of the previous one. And now it's Keenan Brand trying to get outside the defence. The former Cronulla player, Ricky Latelli, has a bit of a scoot. Edwin Ipape in at dummy half. And that was a forward pass to Tom Amone. Forward pass from dummy half. And just the sort of error that London Broncos coach Mike Eccles would have wanted. You do the same thing over and over again, but you are trying to force a different outcome. And the different outcome they've attempted to force here is they've attempted to force an error, and they've successfully got that error. So now it's this scrum being fed by Jack Campagnolo, and it goes back to Ollie Leyland. Ollie Leyland to Josh Rourke. Josh Rourke is a thoroughbred the way he carries the football. Outstanding football. A great performance last week at Magic Weekend. There's Ollie Leyland. Ollie Leyland to Stock. Stock to Kennedy. Kennedy's in midfield, right in front of the post now. London on the attack. There's Matt Davis at dummy half. It comes back towards our commentary position. And there's Rourke again. Elias McCarney, a cutout pass, and he is tackled into touch. London did pretty well creating a bit of space on their left, but not well enough. Not well enough for Elias McCarney to avoid being bundled into touch, 50 centimetres short of the line. Good enough was the cover defence from the Leigh Leopards. And interesting to see Aaron Penne in the starting side for Leigh. He was released mid-season by the Melbourne Storm, and he's got his opportunity to start this game. And we got the Opti payments system replay. Again, McCarney just didn't get the ball with enough space to really challenge for that try line. But now it's it's Leigh working play out of their quarter. And Edwin Apape will go into dummy half. And he finds John Asiata. John Asiata with that footwork. He gets a hand free and passes it back to Apape, back to Lamb. And we go off to the left via O'Donnell to Latelli. Latelli's tackled just about 5 metres short of halfway, right on the touchline, hugging that left touchline here at Cherry Red Records Stadium. And he is, Zach Hardiker is once again monstered by a tackle, and it's his nemesis again, Reece Kennedy. And now the clearing kick, a very deep pass back to Lachlan Lamb. And again, it's end over end. It goes to Rourke, and Rourke is safe as houses. And he takes the tackle to start another set for the London Broncos. Pretty even match here so far at Cherry Red Records Stadium. And there he is in his 100th first grade game. Lee Kershaw having a little bit of a scoot. Matt Davis looking for some options at dummy half. And he finds Jack Campagnolo. And London are hauled down 15 metres short of halfway line. And there's big Lewis Beanick. Lewis Beanick takes 3 defenders to bring him to grief as London look to get the defence going backwards a little bit before spreading the ball. But there is a fumble. There was a fumble there. That was Marcus Stock. And unfortunately, if we go to the Opti Payment Systems replay, we can see that this tackle, just the ball security, isn't what it should have been. Stock took the ball to the line. He was ragdolled. He was turtled. And then as he went to get to his feet, well, the referee ruled that, yeah, he lost it in the tackle before actually he was tackled. So here's a scrum win now to Leigh Leopards. And it comes again to the commentary side of the field. And again, it's Zach Hardiker who's doing the hard work. And it seems to be the guy who's copying most of the punishment from the point of view of the Leopards. And there's Myla Hanley now. Myla Hanley, he's got one leg pulled into the air by Reece Kennedy. And he's delayed in playing the ball there, but Broncos get away with it. No, they don't. This time, there was a delay in the tackle. I thought it could have been a penalty for a second go in defence, but in fact, the ruling from Jack Smith was offside. It's an easy kicking distance, but I don't think they're going to kick it. I think they're going to take the tap. And he does. And there's big Tom Amone driving into the teeth of the London defence. London now defending their own line. They're on their own line as Gareth O'Brien has a bit of a show and go on the right side. He's only a couple of metres short of the try line as Apape now finds a willing runner. But he is also held up short by that London Broncos defence. Apape now back to Amone, back to Lamb. Lamb finds Hardiker. Hardiker throws a dummy and skirts back inside, but is well held by the Broncos defence. Now we've got Lamb. We've now got Asiata again. And we've now got, I think it's Hanley again. And he is right in front of the posts. And they're looking right and left. They decided to go left to Hardiker. Hardiker puts in a little kick, and it is well fielded by Campagnolo. And not happy to have prevented a try. He also manages an offload, a bit risky there, maybe not one that his coach would have welcomed. And the defence now is hunting. The Leopards are hunting as a pack, trying to drive the Broncos back into their own end goal. This is where the hard yards are made in rugby league, and they're looking for a big fella to take it. It's actually a bald fella in Lee Kershaw who tries to get his team out of trouble, and they are out of trouble now thanks to Jared Bassett and thanks to a penalty from Jack Smith for offside play. So if we look at that replay from Opti Payment Systems, we can see that the Broncos were perilously close to be, through Campagnolo, to being driven back and pinned in their own end goal, but they managed to avoid that fate, and then a great let-off of pressure with the penalty. So now the tap is taken on the 40-metre line. And again, some risky, ebullient, and it looks like a lost ball there from Rourke, and Rourke is appealing to the touch judge on the southern side, saying the ball was ripped out, but the scrum will pack and it will be a feed to Leigh Leopards. Let's see if we can A score update for Wendy's. It's 0-0, Leigh and London Broncos. And maybe, just maybe, we might be able to go around the grounds for El Toro, the world's #2 trading platform, and see how Wigan and Hull FC are getting on. But the score here is 0-0, and the ball does come out of the scrum as you would expect it to Leigh Leopards. And Leigh Leopards are on the attack through Gareth O'Brien. He always gets involved, does a lot of work, not afraid of the contact. And that scoreline from Wigan around the grounds for El Toro, 4-0, Wigan over Hull. But back to the play here at Cherry Red Record Stadium, where London are hosting Leigh, and Leigh are attacking on the blind side. An overhead pass there to Keenan Brand, but he is well held by the London defence that comes rushing across to greet him. And now play is moving back towards centre field. There's John Asiata. There is Gareth O'Brien. There's Umila Hanley now, and he puts out the big fend, and he loses the ball, and Elias McCartney has come up with it. For a second there, Elias McCartney saw only green in front of him, but it wasn't there for long, and he knew better than to hug that sideline after being tackled into the touch a short time ago. So he skirted infield, took the tackle, and now Jared Bassett is tackled. And now Davis finds Kershaw. Kershaw is in midfield in front of his own post, and he is 35 metres out. London Broncos via Davis. Now give it back to Kennedy. Kennedy with the one-handed flick back to Davis, and Davis is tackled just short of the halfway line. We now move to the right through Jack Campagnolo into Lovell. Lovell crosses the halfway line, and he's brought to grief by 3 defenders, including Lachlan Lamb. And now it'll be a clearing kick or a bomb of sorts from Jack Campagnolo. Comes down to Darnell McIntosh. And Darnell McIntosh looks to offload, but goes himself. And he's tackled in front of that big, noisy group of Leigh fans who are in that left corner. If you are a Leigh player, they're behind you and to the left, directly behind the post. That part of the ground is not open this afternoon. And now we've got Zach Hardiker. Zach Hardiker into Umila Hanley. Umila Hanley is tackled by 3 defenders, and they try to turtle him, and they do. He is on his back, and the ball is locked up. But he plays it back to Pape, who has a skip to the right, passes to the left. Asiata with a brilliant offload, but it's been intercepted by Kershaw. Kershaw's heading for the corner, right in front of the fans, and he offloads to Campagnolo. Campagnolo is wrestling in the tackle before eventually being brought down. It's the beginning of the set. London on the attack. He is stopped. He goes himself, and he's brought down 11 metres out in front of the post. And now Davis comes into dummy half. He finds Campagnolo. Their ball's coming towards us over here. It's Ollie Leyland, then to Rourke, then to Bassett. And Bassett is hauled down in the corner. He's about a metre in from touch. He's 4 metres short of the try line. And now they've got the back line spread out. It's not the best pass to Leyland, but Campagnolo passes inside to Kennedy. And Kennedy is tackled in front of the post once more. 11 metres out. London with a chance to be the first scorers. 14 minutes gone here. It's 0-0 London and Leigh. And it's Ollie Leyland who steps under 2 tackles. Holds the ball behind. He's back. Offloads to Davis. But the question is, did the ball go forward? Jack Smith is not sure. But the hooker for London, Sam Davis, he thinks he scored a try, and so does Jack Smith. The signal is a try. So for Opti Payment Systems, let's have a look at this replay. Ollie Leyland stepped inside one defender. He stepped inside another. He put in the little kick for Davis. It was not a pass. It was a kick, a little grubber kick. And the question is whether Davis got to the ball, or whether he got the ball to the try line. But it was a real sleight of hand from Ollie Leyland. At one point, he actually did an old Harlem Globetrotters move. He had the ball behind his back for Opti Payment Systems. But I can tell you the scoreline at the moment for Wendy's, We Do It Fresh, is 0-0, London and Leigh. And the question is, will it be 4-0 to London after our video referee has a look at this footage? It's a little kick from Ollie Leyland. Did he drop it first? Did it hit the ground first before he kicked it? No, It struck his right foot. Video referee is Chris Kendall. Here's Wilmslow in a truck looking at this to see if this try will be awarded. And the question is whether Sam Davis regathered and whether Sam Davis got the ball to the try line. Because Sam Davis's brother, Matty, is on the bench for the opposition today. He's on the bench for Leigh Leopards. And again, Chris Kendall wants to see it again. But for Opti Payment Systems, as we watch this, the pickup from Davis is good. He has 3 defenders, Sam Asiata particularly, trying to stop him getting to the line. The ball hits the turf short of the line, and then he rolls it towards the line. It's not a double movement. He does not reach out. The question is whether his momentum carried the ball to the try line just to the left of the post, by the way, listeners. So if this is a try, it will make it quite an easy conversion from Ollie Leyland, who created this try with some wizardry, really. His height has an advantage when he's surrounded by giants in the middle of the field. He manages to evade swatting King Kongs and negotiate a passage to the line for his teammate, Sam Davis. But Chris Kendall gives a try. It's a try, according to video referee Chris Kendall, and it's the underdogs, the last place London Broncos, who are off the mark first in the Super League game. For Wendy's, we do it fresh. The scoreline is 4-0 with a kick to come. And of course, that try brought to you by Toby Carvery, home of the roast. And it's scored by Matty Davis. Scored by Sam Davis for the London Broncos. Apologies. Sam Davis scoring that try, picking up the little grubber, and then finding his way to the line for the home of the roast. And there's no better day for the roast than Sunday. Toby Carvery. And it's converted by Ollie Leyland. So that scoreline, once again, for Wendy's We Do It Fresh, is 6-0 London over Leigh. And for El Toro, the world's number 2 payment system, let's go around the grounds and see what's happening at Wigan, where the Warriors are taking on Hull. And the scoreline remains, Jacob Douglas was the try scorer, remains 4-0. 4-0. Wigan over Hull. Sorry for that pregnant pause there. The scoreline here, meanwhile, for Wendy's is 6-0. London over Leigh, as Leigh get the game back underway, and big Will Lovell stands in a tackle right in front of his own post. And now the try scorer gets the ball out to a thundering forward, and play is taken 20 metres from their own line, and a great offload there from Davis to Leyland. And the confidence of this team after their 29-6 win last week seems to be sky high to win over Hull. They're a confident team. They're moving the football to great effect, and now Jack Campagnolo with a clearing kick, and it goes back to Darnell McIntosh. And he's looking, which way is he going to run? Will he offload? Will he take the tackle himself? He decides to take the tackle of Bassett himself. 30 metres from his own line. He plays it back, and now it's Hanley. Hanley with the ball, changing direction. And he is held by four defenders. And Jared Bassett hurries to get back into the line so he can make himself useful. And now play is almost returned to the halfway line. Listeners, thanks for joining us on rugbyleague.com. This call on our social media, not on our main channel. So when you don't forget to listen to rugbyleague.com when there's no footy on, and wherever you are now, as there's an opportunity for a try here from the Leigh Leopards, and it looks like it is Darnell McIntosh, and he has scored. It was a kick into the clear, and a worryingly simple, straightforward try from the point of view of the London Broncos. A change of possession, play worked its way upfield while I was telling you about our radio station, about rugbyleague.com. And then a quick spread to the right and a kick in behind the defending, behind the London defence. And for Opti Payment Systems, Darnell McIntosh, all he had to do was concentrate on that rolling bit of synthetic rubber in the end goal. He didn't have any defenders to worry about. He didn't have any teammates to worry about. All Darnell McIntosh had to worry about was just making sure he touched down that ball. For Opti Payment Systems, that was laying in the end goal. It was Lachlan Lamb's or actually Gareth O'Brien's kick, and it bounced perfectly into the arms of Darnell McIntosh. Definitely Gareth O'Brien for Opti Payment Systems with that little kick. And if you can picture it, the ball is just lolling, bouncing. Josh Rourke coming across in cover, but getting there far too late. And actually, Darnell McIntosh, your try scorer for Toby Carvery, the home of the roast. He was able to just dot down the ball, landed in his arms, and he put it down over the line. But he did so less than a metre in from touch. So Zach Hardiker has a difficult conversion attempt here, and it is wide off to the left. So your scoreline for Wendy's, We Do It Fresh, is London 6, Leigh 4. And around the grounds for El Toro, the world's number 2 payment system, another try, Zach Eckersley has scored for Wigan. So that scoreline is 8-0 Wigan over Hull with a kick to come. But back to here in London, where the scoreline for Wendy's is 6-4 London over Leigh. Leigh having just scored, and they are now early in their next phase of play, early in their next set, the Leigh Leopards. And they will drive the ball out of their own quarter. Edwin Apape directing traffic, and he now finds his teammate Tom Amo. And play is moving back towards that halfway line now, but Gareth O'Brien with the kick, and he kicks to Elias McCarney. Elias McCarney doesn't want to go anywhere near that sideline. He takes play to centre field. Josh Rourke gets in to help out a little bit, puts his both hands on the back to stop his teammate being driven, put in reverse by the Leigh defence. Now it's Jared Bassett. Jared Bassett is right in centre field. He's 30 metres from his own line. Jack Campagnolo not afraid to take a hit. And now Davis. Davis, the ball is knocked out of his hands at dummy half. I don't know how that marker could have been onside, but nevertheless, Jack Smith says play on. And now Davis is having an absolute stormer so far here today. He's beats a couple of defenders, but then he loses the ball. Commentator's curse. The try scorer, Sam Davis for London. He looking $1 million in midfield, but as we look at the replay for Opti Payment Systems, he came a cropper somewhat when he darted out a dummy half and was trying to get a quick play the ball. He picked it up one-handed. He beat the first marker. He took the tackle of 2 defenders, and then a 3rd defender came in, and that's where he lost possession of the ball. Now Leigh winning that scrum, and Ricky Latelli has possession. And Leigh looking still in arrears. That payment system. Scoreline for Wendy's: 6-4 London over Leigh at Cherry Red Records Stadium, as Edwin Apape has a scoot. Edwin Apape is tackled 10 metres into the opposition half, and he loses the football. So for Opti Payment Systems, we can have a look at that replay, and we can see what went wrong for Edwin Apape. Edwin Apape got a late offload. He took the ball over the halfway line. He was tackled by Adabihi Davis down below, and also Ollie Leyland. And as he got to his feet, Edwin Apape, he lost it. Now that scrum has been run and won. It's been won by London Broncos, and wrestling with the defender there is Ilias Makani. And now Sam Davis gives it to Sadiq Adabihi. Sadiq is on halfway. An attempt to turn him onto his back is successful, but it's a penalty. It is a penalty to the London Broncos. A bit too much in the tackle there. It might have been from Tom Amone. And Ollie Leyland will find touch on the southern side of the ground. The ball lands in an area where there's nobody, no fans, no stewards, no one, but it has been retrieved. It's been retrieved by a ball boy who's jumping the fence. Sadiq Adabihi for the hit up. Passes to Leyland. This is a set play, go to the blind side, and it almost leads to a try from Ilias Makani. They tried to, it's unconventional set play from London Broncos. It looks like it's going to be a boring hit up, and then Ollie Leyland takes the inside pass and tries to create space for Ilias Makani, the replay for Opti Payment Systems. But like the last time Ilias Makani found himself in a scoring position in that part of the field, just not enough space. And once again, Zach Hardiker was wise to it. He was on the spot. And now John Eziata plays the ball, and Amila Hanley goes for a run, and he is well tackled by three defenders. He is on his own 10-metre line. And now Edwin Apape is looking for a runner. He finds Hardiker. He's very involved in this match so far. And now Edwin Apape appeals to the referee, and he gets what he's looking for. He gets a penalty. And now Lachlan Lamb will find touch on the northern side of the ground. And it gives us an opportunity to go around the grounds for El Toro. As the ball touchfinder lands right in front of me. And it's now 10-0. 10-0 Wigan over Hull. But back here, the scoreline for Wendy, 6-4, London over Leigh. And it's Leigh in possession. And they attempt to take play back towards that halfway line. They are 10 metres short of halfway through Aaron Penne. And he wants to have another run, Aaron Penne. But the ball actually goes to Tom Amone. Tom Amone is tackled 20 metres into the opposition half. Leigh chasing the London Broncos. They're behind by 2. And there's Lachlan Lamb. Lachlan Lamb finds Keenan Brand. And now Edwin Apape is they're on the far side of the field in that pocket where a lot of the play tends to go. Or maybe that's just my imagination because it's the part of the field that's furthest away. But it looks like there's a turnover here, and London through Josh Rourke will get the ball, and this will be another hit up from the Broncos. Jack Campagnolo is a dummy half, and he finds that man Leigh Kershaw in his 100th game. Leigh Kershaw is tackled now 30 metres from his own line, and Ilias Makani again, just looking to get some metres. No real opportunities where he is now. But there is Sam Davis now, a dummy half. And he finds Campagnolo. Finds out to Lovell. Lovell out to Stock. And now Leigh Kershaw is on. He's on the wing. He's on his own. He's in the clear now again, Kershaw. Before the defence finally catches up with him. And the referee's blown his whistle. Looks like, a defender is down. Sorry, an attacker is down in the form of Jack Campagnolo. And he may have been brought down illegally in back play. We can go to the replay for Opti Payment Systems. And let's see what happened there. There was a spread to the right through Campagnolo and then to Lovell. And then it looked like it was Stock and finally Kershaw in the clear. But someone was taken out, a Broncos player. A Broncos player appears to have been taken out. Looks like a report from the touch judge. And this will be a penalty to London Broncos. But not only that, John Eziata is being called out for a tackle off the ball. And he's in the sin bin. John Eziata in the sin bin for tackling a player after he had passed the ball. And it wasn't a nice one either. The attacker had his back turned and he couldn't see the hit coming. So John Asiata, right in front of us, is walking towards the tunnel, and Leigh will play with 12 men for the next 10 minutes. It'll take them up to the 35th minute, and an opportunity here for London. They'd want to put a few points in their kit bag while they have this advantage. As Reece Kennedy takes the ball into the defence, and now it's Leigh, now it's Rourke. And finally, we've got Davis, dummy half. Davis finds Beanick, and Beanick is a big lumbering player, and he wow, that was another tackle that could have been high, but it's actually instead a lost ball. So an opportunity blown there by, it was Lewis Beanick, losing the ball in the tackle. It was a big physical hit, and the London players were appealing as we take the replay for Opti Payment Systems. London players were appealing for a high tackle, but instead Beanick lost possession as he got to his feet, and that is a really a bad missed opportunity. It was the previous ruck was Rob Butler, but yeah, definitely a full-bodied tackle anyway, and the defender finds himself on his haunches. He's a little bit ill as we go for Opti Payment Systems. This replay, they didn't like it. The London players, they thought it was high. It was certainly around the shoulders, but it had the desired effect from a Leigh point of view. It was Lachlan, I think it was Gareth O'Brien with that big full-bodied hit that jolted the ball loose. And now Edwin Apape is in a dummy half. Edwin Apape looking for a run. He finds a runner in Kai O'Donnell. And every minute that Leigh have the ball when they're down to 12 men is a bonus for them. As Keenan Brand has a run, it's an opportunity lost for London to take advantage of their numerical advantage. I guess it's a bad sentence, isn't it? But nevertheless, Edwin Apape is not happy here with Will Lovell. There's a bit of push and shove. Something happened in the tackle. But Edwin Apape will play the ball, and it comes to that blind side. And Gareth O'Brien tackles. And was he taken out late? Zach Hardiker's not happy. They thought that was a late shot. But at the other end of the field, the ball's still alive. Leigh are on the attack, and they have an opportunity to score their second try. There's players scuffling at one end of the field while the game is still being played at the other end. And now Zach Hardiker, there's a lot of push and shove, very close to a punch here, I think. Rob Butler is the main man involved. Rob Butler got in a little bit of a late shot as we look at the replay from Opti. Late shot at Gareth O'Brien. Zach Hardiker took exception to that late shot. And 4 players, including Darnell McIntosh, became involved in a push and shove, while the rest of them continued playing the game. Some 20 metres away, the referee, I don't think, even caught sight of the scuffle at this end of the field. And there was at least one tackle with Leigh in a good position to score before there was radio communication with Jack Smith that there was another match going on, some 20 metres upfield, right on halfway. And now Jack Smith and his fellow officials will have to adjudicate on exactly what happened, whether Rob Butler did in fact tackle Gareth O'Brien late, whether any of the contact was illegal, and what exactly should happen now. But again, this is a heaven sent from the point of view of Leigh, because they are down to 12 men and they want to eat up this 10 minutes. So the more stoppages there are, the uglier it is, the more untidy it is, the better. But plenty of mouthing off, plenty being said. And for Opti Payment Systems, it all came down to a late shot by Rob Butler. So that's now Rob Butler has been sent to the sin bin for the late shot. And Rob Butler was also involved in a bit of push and shove with Edwin Apape on the previous set. And now he's still talking. There's still some talking going on between Butler and McIntosh and Hanley in particular. And he's being ushered to the bench now, Butler, and both sides are down to 12 men. So that scoreline for Wendy's, 6-4, Leigh over London, and both teams down to 12 men with 2 men in the sin bin. Rob Butler and John Asiata. And it's Leigh on the attack. Back to the footy. The play goes to the open side through Gareth O'Brien. And the attack is hauled down about 2 metres out. And it's a set restart, which isn't through Brad Dwyer with the ball. And it's set restart for Leigh. Good opportunity for them to hit the lead in this set as Tom Ramone has a bit of a run. And he's tackled in midfield right in front of London's posts. And now Brad Dwyer, he's getting very involved at dummy half. And he goes back to Lamb. And Lamb passes infield to, looks like Amon. And he is tackled short. Let's see what happens next, shall we? As the ball goes to the open side. It's a kick from O'Brien. And it looks like a try. It's an easy try. Looked like Jack Hughes with the try there for the Leigh Leopards. So Leigh have hit the front, everybody. And the crowd, a big travelling support. They go nuts. Bonkers. They're chanting, they're clapping. And for Wendy's, a try to Leigh puts them in front. 8-6 over London with a Leigh kick to come. And if we just get the replay, Gareth O'Brien with the kick. And Jack Hughes looks like racing through to touchdown. It was Frankie Halton, apologies. Frankie Halton with the try. And that try brought to you, of course, by Toby Carvery, the home of the roast. Frankie Halton with the try for Leigh Leopards. 8-6 Leigh over London with a kick to come, and Gareth O'Brien just so involved in this match. He was tackled very early. He pulled off a big hit earlier that left him dazed, and he was involved just a short time after. Sure enough, it was Gareth O'Brien who set up that try with a really well-weighted little kick. And Frankie Halton, Leigh-born, Irish international, 26 years old. He posts the second try for the visitors. And that scoreline for Wendy's, 8-6. And it remains 8-6 with Zach Hardiker unable to convert. Let's see if we can go round the grounds for El Toro, shall we? So checking at the score. We're Wigan are taking on taking on Hull. And we can report for El Toro that in that match, it is 10-4 Wigan over Hull, so certainly still very much in the balance. But here for Wendy's at Totally Wicked Stadium, at the Cherry Red Record Stadium, 8 minutes to go until half-time. And that scoreline is Leigh 8, London 6. And Brad Dwyer has a little scoot right in front of me. And there's that man, Frankie Halton. He's heavily tackled by Jacob Jones. And now Gareth O'Brien kicks to the corner. Josh Rourke goes across in cover. And he hauls in the ball. And he takes the tackle some 20 metres from his own line. And now Ilias McCartney will have a run, one off the ruck. And he's met by 3 Leigh defenders in those red jerseys with those numbers that are difficult to see. And Lee Kershaw now is also taking a bit of pressure off his teammates. He's right in front of London's own posts. Davis at dummy half. Davis finds a willing runner in. I think it's Jones. And Jones is tackled. And now they're looking for a clearing kick. Won't be far away now. And standing one off the ruck is Ollie Leyland. He looks like he'll be the first receiver, and he'll steps a defender and gets a kick away. It's not probably his best kick, but it still gets plenty of distance. In fact, it goes way back where Keenan Brand has to chase it into his own in goal. It's a really good chase as well, with Leigh Kershaw on the spot, and also Jack Capagnola. Now Zach Hardiker has a little bit of a run, and he is 12 metres from his own line. And now Lachlan Lamb finds Ricky Latelli. That's Ricky's part of the field. That's where he's positioned. And he makes about 5 metres before play comes back towards our commentary position here. And Zach Hardiker, who's had so many carries in this game and copped so much punishment. And also, plenty of great cover defence as well, as Dwyer finds a moan in midfield. And now it's Gareth O'Brien with an end-over-end kick, and Rourke is right underneath it, the big loping custodian. And he is well chased and well brought down by 2 defenders. Whatever London could do in that area, Leigh believe they can do better. And John Asiata warming up right in front of us, ready to come onto the field. If you're just tuning in, both teams are down to 12 men. Rob Butler is in the sin bin, and so is John Asiata. 1 player each from Leigh and London. And that scoreline for Wendy's is 8-6 Leigh over London, as Davis comes into dummy half. And hard to see how the marker was onside there, but nevertheless, it's going to be Ollie Lehner with a little kick towards touch, and he finds touch. Nice little kick on the fly. Wasn't sure he was getting the ball, had defence bearing down on him, but he still managed to get a good kick away and a kick that found touch right in front of me here. Darnell McIntosh, meanwhile, limping a little bit, also right in front of me. And Jack Hughes will restart play. Lachlan Lamb is arranging his teammates, and the ball goes back to Hanley. And Hanley is tackled some 10 metres from the halfway line. It's 5 minutes to go here, and it's Leigh in front of London, 8-6 for Wendy's. We do it fresh. And now it's Gareth O'Brien. Gareth O'Brien back to Lamb. Lamb onto Hardiker. Oh, he gets a hand to it, does Leigh Kershaw, which he's ruling double knock on, the referee. Didn't really see the Leigh knock on in that play, but nevertheless, it will be a scrum. And I guess for Opti Payment Systems, we can have a little look at that passage of play and see exactly what happened as the scrum packs. And for Opti Payment Systems, the ball went to the open side to Lamb. They found O'Brien, and then Hardiker passed. It was knocked to the ground by Leigh Kershaw, picked up by Keenan Brand, and it's a scrum feed in any case to Leigh, right on halfway, right in the middle. And Davis, it's actually Darnell McIntosh having a bit of a run, and he finds support in Ricky Latelli. Ricky Latelli going in and out like a corkscrew on the far side of the field before finally being brought to grief some 25 metres from the line. And now the back line is spread, but they opt to go inside through Hughes. And Hughes is tackled by 2 London defenders. Play has now been taken to 25 metres from the try line. And they'll go to the blind side now. It's restarted tackle count. There's Lachlan Lamb with the ball. And Lachlan Lamb is tackled some 5 metres short of the London line. And through Asiata, who's back on the field, he offloads inside. And he's now taking a playmaking role as Asiata, standing one off the ruck. And now Brad Dwyer. And the kick is far too big from Lamb, I would have thought. Far too big from Lamb, I would have thought. But Jack Hughes is going to go to the video referee to see if we have a try for Toby's Carvery or not. But it would appear that kick was a little bit too big. Let's take the replay for Opti Payment Systems. as I said, Lachlan Lamb getting the ball in that corner. I guess it's the northwestern corner of the ground, and several players flying through in pursuit of that grubber kick. Only 3 minutes from half time it is, everybody, and it's 8-6 for Wendy's. Actually, Jack Smith on the field had a try. He's got a try. He believes there was downward pressure. So for Opti Payment Systems, we've just got to see what is happening here. Opti Payment Systems, the kick looked far too big. It's the worst position that possibly could be for us and our position. Certainly, if he spotted this, it's a good effort from referee Jack Smith, because it looks like it was Ricky Latelli in pursuit of the ball, and he appears to have got it down just as one hand went dead. It's simultaneous. I think has his hand gone dead at the same time as Ricky Latelli has grounded the ball. There is a split frame in this, an absolute split frame in this, and we're waiting for the decision from the video referee to see if this is a try to Ricky Latelli. Chris Kendall is the man in the hot seat as far as the video referee is concerned. And the try has been awarded. And I'm pretty sure it was Ricky Latelli. And I'll tell you what, at normal speed, that is no try. And I think if Jack Smith rules on the field, no try, then it's also no try. But in any case, for Toby Carvery, it is a try. It is a try to Ricky Latelli. And for Wendy's, that scoreline ticks over to 12-6, Leigh over London. 2.5 minutes till half time here at Cherry Red Record Stadium. You would call it a fortuitous call, perhaps. Again, if it had gone upstairs as no try, I don't think it would have been allowed. But Jack Smith called it a try. If you can picture it, the little grubber kick from Lachlan Lamb is chased by Ricky Latelli. Ricky Latelli gets his right elbow over the top of the ball at the same time as his left hand, or the other way around. He gets his right elbow over the ball at the same time as his left on the ball, right over the dead ball line. The ball hits the upright again. Not having a good day with the kicking is Zach Hardiker. And for Wendy's, the scoreline is 12-6, Leigh over London. You're on rugbyleague.com, and we are calling London Broncos at home in 2024. We launched earlier this year, and next year will be bigger and better. But for now, we hope you're enjoying this commentary and our coverage of this Super League match. And around the grounds for El Toro, the world's #2 payment system. It's only 10-4 to Wigan over Hull at the Brick Community Stadium. And of course, Hull and London are on equal points at the bottom of the table, only points difference separating them. Relegation is determined by not determined by points on the table this year, so it doesn't impact relegation. London are going down anyway. But the ball is kept alive, and it looked like a forward pass to me for Darnell McIntosh, and it was indeed a forward pass right in front of me. Rob Butler's now back on the field as well, and he wants to pack this scrum quickly. So both teams are back to their full complement of players after the sin bin was used by Jack Smith twice in this first half. I hope I still have my voice, listeners. I hope you can still hear me. Probably at a London Broncos game, it's appropriate to be hoarse. But Ollie Leyland now gets the ball out of the scrum. And Davis is at the back. Campagnolo kicks on the first tackle towards the corner. There are some willing chasers, but Zach Hardiker is happy to run the ball, touch in goal, and there won't be enough time for a line dropout. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the section. It is the end of the half. And for Wendy's, the scoreline is Leigh 12, London 6. You're on rugbyleague.com.
Okay, halftime here at the Chile Rebels Stadium is currently under Broncos 6 and Leigh Leopards 12. Just one minute again. Yeah, this really happening this afternoon is currently a Wigan Warriors 10, Hull FC 4. Then just coming over time, we're doing our pre-game halftime challenge. So our competitors can make themselves known to let the Broncos know we'll start getting that underway.
The two teams at the bottom of Super League are behind in their respective games this afternoon, but they are both having a dig. London Broncos trail Leigh Leopards 12-6 at the Cherry Red Record Stadium. The sin bin used twice, John Asiata and Rob Butler being given a spell by the referee Jack Smith. 4 Leigh tries to Ricky Latelli, Frankie Horton and Darnell McIntosh, all unconverted by Zach Hardiker. Sam Davis hit the try for London and Ollie Leyland converting. In that other match at the Brick Community Stadium, 10-4, Wigan over Hull, who are ahead of London only on points differential at the moment at the bottom of the table. Jacob Douglas and Zach Eckersley with the tries, Adam Kieran with the goal, Jed Cartwright with the try for Hull FC. For rugbyleague.com at the Cherry Red Record Stadium, I'm Steve Maskell.
One shot, one opportunity. Seize everything you ever wanted. One moment to capture.
No.
Everybody's talking now. There's lots for that. Time's up. Reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Chuck, he's so mad. You're all bad. You know, you won't have it. You know, it's on back to his front. It's on back. It's on. There's no gravity. He's so sad. You know, he goes back to his home. For home back to his back to the land. And you know, it's no back to you. Never back to his home. And home. It's home. It's back to the music. The moment you want back to it. Okay, boys are ready for our half-time challenge. So, very simple. Each have 3 balls each. First
Interesting.
ball is throw to one of those ball buckets. Second ball is kick. The third is throw. Then kick, completely up to you. One point for the first one, 2 for the second, and so on. If it's a tie up to the 3, we go back to the front ball and we keep going until we've got a winner. Are we ready to get going? Right, let's go. First ball.
Oh yeah, nothing that actually counts.
Right, so when we're ready to third one in, we're back to the front of the seven there. You can throw or kick this one. I'm probably suggest throwing it.
Thank you for not saying anything
This is for £50 Woodrow voucher, by the way. £50. Not bad, right? Guys, let's get those balls ready to the front. Let's go second down, take your turn to throw a winner.
The guy I used to work with.
To win it, come on. Let's keep the balls going, guys. Let's keep it coming. We've got second half to do yet. Alright, now then the Broncos must score this to stay in. Oh, we've got a winner. Congratulations, you. You are the winner of the £50 Woodrow voucher. Congratulations. Well done and well played. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, second half back on the radio, very, very shortly indeed. And a reminder, next Sunday we're back here at Cherry Stadium. It is our final home fixture of the 2024 Super League season. Talk about incredible fixture. So much going on every day. We welcome the Leeds Rhinos here to Cherry Stadium. To get your tickets from this game, please do head to the London Broncos are our website.
Let's go. I'll see you in the room.
How's it going? Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Cherry Red Records Stadium. And also, if you're on Instagram, there was a bit of an issue with our stream in the first half. So if you're listening on Instagram, welcome for the first time. And it's 12-6 for Wendy's. That's the scoreline here. The visitors, Leigh Leopards over London Broncos in Wimbledon. And sin bin used twice in the first half. John Asiata and also Rob Butler sent to the sin bin. They were off. These sin bin, they did overlap. And really, the goal kicking at this point, keeping London in this match with 3 tries scored. Ricky Latelli, Frankie Halton, and Darnell McIntosh. But Zach Hardiker able to kick just 1 goal. No goals. Zach Hardiker unable to kick a single goal. Sam Davis scored a try for London Broncos. Ollie Leyland kicked the conversion. He also set up that try. London out on the field waiting, and Leigh just emerging now. Leigh have the balance of possession, 53%. Leigh have also completed 17 sets to London's 11. London have carried the ball more times, 92 to 86. Meters wise, it's predictably a Leigh advantage there, 599 to 447. And the tackles, reasonably even, certainly not too lopsided, but the team trailing is usually made more, and that is the case. It's 172 for London, 126 for Leigh. Ollie Leyland, meanwhile, has the ball on the tee. That's fallen off. Let's restart this game of rugby league. The scoreline again for Wendy's, 12-6, Leigh over London. And they went a little bit early. But still around the grounds for El Toro, 10-4, Wigan over Hull. In any case, John Asiata's got the ball on his own try line, and he charges into the teeth of the defence. He's directly in front of his own post now. Decent chase from the kickoff when they got it right, the timing right from the London Broncos. And Leigh, through Brad Dwyer, will go to the blind side, and there is that try scorer, Frankie Halton. Frankie Halton is on the right side, and then Tom Amone with that top knot. He attempts to take play as far as the halfway line, didn't quite get there, but now Zach Hardiker will, right on halfway, right from where the kickoff was taken. Brad Dwyer looking for a kicker. He finds Lachlan Lamb. Not an easy one to take, not for me anyway, but for Leigh Kershaw it's a cinch. And he is tackled 10 metres out in front of his own post. His 100th game, I've mentioned that a couple of times. Congratulations on your 100th game, Leigh Kershaw. Jack Campagnolo finds Ilias Makani now, and he doesn't get to go far. That chase was determined from the Leopards. And now Marcus Stock. Sam Davis, try scorer. He's at dummy half. And London getting through their tackles. I realise I've got the camera turned on. If you're, so some of you can actually see when I'm checking players' names. It's a bit embarrassing, but nonetheless, Jack Campagnolo with the kick. And Darnell McIntosh is in receipt of it. And now it looks like Emila Hanley having a little bit of a run. Gareth O'Brien is acting half, and he finds Zach Hardiker, who's carried the ball a lot of times in this match, slips in behind the defence. And now it's Dwyer. And the Leigh Leopards have taken play into the opposition half, and this game of chess resumes, trying to force a missed tackle or a drop ball. Tom Amone takes the hit. Brad Dwyer finds Gareth O'Brien, drops it cold, Gareth O'Brien. And maybe we can check the replay there for Opti Payment Systems. But there's not really much to investigate. I think it was Gareth O'Brien's responsibility to put in a clearing kick there. He just took his eye off the ball for Opti Payment Systems. And now London Broncos have possession. And it's big Rob Butler with the ball. And he takes the play to centre field. And there's Jacob Jones. And a penalty to London Broncos for a high shot. And an opportunity for London, who are behind 3-1. That scoreline for Wendy's again, 12-6. Leigh over London at the Cherry Red Record Stadium. Jack Smith gives a penalty, or restates the penalty. It's for a high shot. And a good opportunity here for Sadiq Adabihi to drive the ball within 10 metres of Leigh Leopards line. And the crowd get behind London. There's big Lewis Beanick with the ball. He's right in front of the post, wrestling. He's a big man, Lewis Beanick. Rob Butler standing one off the ruck, but Sam Davis goes the other way via Ollie Leyland. And then to Jared Bassett. Jared Bassett looks to beat a tackle, but he's hauled down. Again, 10 metres out and to the right of the post if you are defending those posts, to the left if you're attacking. Rob Butler now. He charges at the space between the uprights. Davis is a dummy half. Davis looks left and goes left. He finds Leyland. Leyland, the short pass to Rourke. And they're in! A try to London Broncos through the great fullback, Josh Rourke. He was in the team of the week last week in Rugby League World. It's a try for Toby Carver. He carved up the defence there, did Josh Rourke, and London Only 2 points in arrears. The scoreline for Wendy's, Leigh 12, London 10, with a Broncos kick to come. And this Broncos team, they are a completely different proposition than they were at the start of the year. Their confidence is really high after that first away win of the year last week against Hull at Magic Weekend. And now they're about to level it up with a team in 8th position. A try to Josh Rourke. And what a player he has been since coming back from that broken leg he suffered in the preseason to score a try there. He's only 24 years old. He won't be playing championship next year, I don't think. Ollie Leyland now, just to the left of the post. I didn't give you the position of that try. It was just to the left of the post. And once more, the ball falls off the kicking tee. So it'll have to be replaced on the kicking tee. But Ollie Leyland should have this for dinner, really. And Zach Hardiker hasn't been able to convert a single goal. So it looks like we're about to be tied up at 12 all for Wendy's. Josh Rourke with the Toby Carvery try. And the goal is successful. So that scoreline for Wendy's here at the Cherry Red Record Stadium. 12 all, London and Leigh. Should we go around the grounds for El Toro? I think we should go around the grounds for El Toro. One other game is underway at the moment. And it would appear the scoreline has not changed. 10-4, Wigan over Hull. So the two teams level on points at the bottom of the table. One is currently level pegging, and the other is trailing by just 6 points. Again, that scoreline for Wendy's. 12 all. London and Leigh. The kickoff goes back to Campagnolo. And Campagnolo is tackled in front of his own post. And Sam Davis will look for an option. And he finds one in big Butler. Butler in the sin bin in the first half for an overzealous tackle after a kick had cleared. And a bit of push and shove also on the ruck before. I'm not sure what indiscretion he was pinged for. There's Davis. Davis has a bit of a scoot. Almost lost the ball there. Trapped it with his foot. Picked it up. The Leigh fans didn't like it. They thought he lost it at the dummy half. There's Jacob Jones now. And he crosses the halfway line. He's wrestled by 3 Leigh defenders. Got their towels up a little bit now, London. And Campagnolo with the high kick, end over end. A long way up. Oh, it's regathered by Rourke. Rourke keeps it alive. Flicks it back to a teammate. And it looks like it's Butler. Butler kicks to the corner. The ball's kept alive. Did it go out on the full? No, it found touch. The big prop found touch. Again, a bit of heads up off the top of the head play from the London Broncos. And play will restart from 10 metres out from the Leigh line right in front of their posts. John Asiata will play it. Back to Lachlan Lamb. And now it's going to that Keenan Brand, who has a bit of a run. He's got that strapping on his leg. And he's tackled 12 metres out. And Darnell McIntosh has a little bit of a scoot, one off the ruck. Tom Ramone's been given a bit of a spell, by the way. He's got through a lot of work today as well. That's a big run from Kai O'Donnell. He's driven back in the tackle. And now it's Asiata with the footwork. And he's well held. 10 metres short of halfway. And then there's try scorer. The try scorer is Frankie Bolton, one of the 3 try scorers for Leigh today. And he takes play to near halfway. And Lachlan Lamb will put the clearing kick in. It'll go back to, they're not sure who's going to take it. Looks like it's just going to go dead. Lee Kershaw and Josh Rourke were unsure who should take that. In the end, they allowed it to bounce. Not always a good idea, but on this occasion, It was. And I must say, the two Italian internationals, Ethan Natoli and Jack Campagnolo, have identical haircuts and identical moustaches, which is why, if you can watch me here, I'm looking at my team sheet to see which one's got the ball. Haven't called Natoli many times. I've called Campagnolo about twice as many times as he's had it. But in any case, here's Sam Davis, a dummy half. Campagnolo this time skips to the left and passes out to Stock. And Stock is tackled. And now play will go to the centre of the field again through Ollie Leyland. Ollie Leyland looking for an option, doing his old pirouette, trying to duck under the arms of Asiata, but Asiata gives him a bear hug. And now Stock will take the ball into the teeth of the defence once more. And Sam Davis. Sam Davis finds Rourke. Rourke kicks to the corner, chases himself, but it goes into touch just a metre short of the try line. And for El Toro, it's time to check the scores at the Brick Community Stadium once more, where there's a keenly contested match on between Wigan and Hull. And there's the Liam Marshall's in the HIA, I can see, but I can also see the try. There's still 6 points of difference there. 10-4, Wigan over Hull. And a silly offload in their own quarter from the Leigh Leopards, and a chance for London Broncos here to hit the lead. They've got the ball just 12 metres out. Jack Campagnolo looking for options. He passes inside to Will Lovell. Will Lovell is well tackled, some 15 metres out from the Leigh line, just to the left of the post as you defend. And now, plenty of leg drive there from Rob Butler, from Lewis Beanick, in fact. And the ball is kept alive on the right. Campagnolo gives it to Rourke. Rourke is brought down in the tackle. He kind of loses his footing 10 metres from the lead line. Here's Kershaw now. Kershaw to Campagnolo. Campagnolo looking for a runner. He takes the tackle himself, but he's always dangerous to the ball. The defence is hanging off Jack Campagnolo. And now the ball appears to be lost at dummy half by Lee Kershaw. The referee is calling off the arm handover. So the London fans aren't happy. They thought that should have been a restarted tackle count. They thought that was not an error. And they thought it was knocked down by the marker. But another one of the try scorers, Ricky Latelli, has a bit of a scoot in front of his own post. And now to the open side is that Jack. It looks like the replacement Jack Hughes. And now Dwyer. And Dwyer to Hanley. Hanley's tackled in the centre field. Leigh in 8th position, London in last. But it's 12 all with 13 minutes gone in the second half for Wendy's. And there's Dwyer. And Dwyer keeps the ball. Don't know how it ended up with Sadiq Adebihi. He palms off a defender before eventually being brought down. But it's like Leigh have started trying to pull off a few miracle passes, trying to win the game with a bit of inspiration. Defence is up quickly on Rob Butler, and there's plenty of feeling against Rob Butler after the first half, where he was sent to the sin bin. There was a lot of talk as he went to the bin from a number of Leigh players. And he doesn't mind it. He willingly takes a punishment, but he's having a spell now. Reece Kennedy is on for Rob Butler. Meanwhile, London have taken play towards the right touchline, where Leigh are trying to drag him across. And Reece Kennedy has got the ball now, and he is well tackled. And Hugo Tisson calls for a penalty. And Jack Smith obliges. He believed Kai O'Donnell was illegally trying to strip the ball out there. And for Opti Payment Systems, we can maybe have a look at the replay. But Josh Rourke took the ball to the right. He was dragged towards a touchline. And then on the next tackle, this incident occurred. where Reece Kennedy was held down. Kai O'Donnell had his hand all over the ball, and Ugo Tisson suggested, he put the idea in the mind of the referee that it was a strip, and the referee agreed with him. So now London are into the opposition quarter, and they will find Kennedy now. Kennedy, a big man, tries to get the right mid out, free it, get that one-handed flick pass away, but he was unable to do so. Tisson now finds a runner, and Tisson's trying to create something, the French dummy half, and he finds Kennedy. Kennedy tries to keep the ball alive, and it's all Campagnolo, now Leyland. Leyland kicks the corner, and Kershaw's in pursuit, but the ball is over the sideline on the full, and it's an opportunity gone there for the London Broncos. That kind of spontaneous play, it often works for them. Sometimes it doesn't. Ollie Leyland just kind of had an eye for an opportunity there, saw Kershaw on that wing, but the kick was far too big. And now Leigh are looking to get out of their own half with the ball in hand rather than by kicking it. I think they might be able to do that. Here's Matt Davis, who's on the brother of Sam, is on the field, and he is tackled on halfway. Dwyer passes to Lamb. Lamb to Latelli. Latelli comes against the grain, changes direction once more. He dispatches Natoli. Natoli comes at him again, and he's finally brought to ground some 30 metres from the London try line. Here's Lamb. Here's Lamb to O'Brien. O'Brien involved in everything today. And he finds Myla Hanley. Hanley going for a bit of a run, skipping out of a few tackles. The ball's knocked to ground by Kennedy, and it's play on. Referee Jack Smith says Kennedy knocked it backwards. I know the Leigh fans will be suggesting otherwise, but I think he did knock it backwards, and London have the ball again, and they've got an opportunity to break this 12-all deadlock. That's the score here for Wendy's. It's London versus Leigh at the Cherry Red Record Stadium, and our scoreline brought to you by Wendy's, who do it fresh. 12-all, London and Leigh. And now it's London Broncos with the ball, searching for only their fourth win of the year. Ugo Tisson is at dummy half. There's Campagnolo. Campagnolo finds Stock, and Stock finds a little bit of space. And now the ball goes to that blind side, and here's Rourke. Rourke kicks. The ball can't be held by Hardiker, but then it can. Hardiker managed to propel the ball backwards and then go back and regather it. And now they're trying to keep the ball alive. They're spreading deep in their own quarter are the Leigh Leopards, and Lachlan Lamb is brought to grief. One of the players in there is Stock. Another one is Kershaw. And now here is Latelli. Latelli shapes the pass but takes the tackle. And the player at dummy half is that ubiquitous Gareth O'Brien again. And there's Darnell McIntosh. He is now on the left side of the field. He is 20 metres in from touch, and he's on halfway. And now it's Kai O'Donnell. Kai O'Donnell does a bit of a pirouette. It was an involuntary pirouette. That was just the impact of the tackles that he spun. And now we have Gareth O'Brien. Gareth O'Brien with a high end-over-end kick aimed at Josh Rourke. Josh Rourke's pretty comfortable under those. He takes it on his own try line and then straightens up in centre field. There's a good chase. And Josh Rourke is hauled down right in front of his own post. Did he drop the ball? The referee says he did. The referee says Josh Rourke lost the ball getting to his feet. He's appealing. There's no captain's challenge in the Super League. If there was a captain's challenge and London still had one up their sleeve, they might have used it there. Maybe Opti Payment Systems with the replay can tell us whether that was fair enough, whether he lost the ball as he got to his feet. But he's 10 metres out in front of his own post. Not a good place to lose it. So he goes down in the tackle pretty quickly. And then for Opti Payment Systems, he gets to his feet. He puts it on the ground. And according to the defence, he dropped it. According to the referee, he dropped it. According to the replay, inconclusive. Leigh come out with the ball. A high Harbour Bridge pass over to Keenan Brand. And there's going to be a scrum again with a feed to Leigh. So just trying to figure out what's happened here. there is a decision from the referee. There will be a scrum in front of the post, and it will maybe a defender got a hand to the ball. That's all I can think of. But we're back to where we started with Leigh attacking the right, their right, London's left. And this is the game on the line for Wendy's. 12-all, London and Leigh. And Leigh with the ball. The defence is up very quickly. There's Frankie Halton with the ball. He's wrestling with the defenders. They waltz him into the in goal, which is something that London have done a number of times this year, and they have been criticised on occasion for doing. In one game, they conceded a try with that practice. Leigh on the attack. And once more, a penalty to Leigh for a high tackle. And it's pretty hard when you're as big as Will Lovell, I guess, to get down low and make that sort of tackle. But Leigh will break the deadlock with a penalty goal, an easy kicking distance. And if it is kicked, it will be the first goal of this match for their kicker, Zach Hardiker. He missed all 3 attempts at goal in the first half. And that really kept London in the match to a certain extent. Only 12-6, or it could have been 18-6. And the fact that they're opted to take the penalty here is a sign of respect, I guess, for this London team that had a 29-6 win over Hull last week, and then have drawn level for Wendy's, 12-all. For El Toro Payment Systems, we might have a chance to go around the grounds now with Wigan taking on Hull. And Wigan have opened up a 20-4 lead over Hull. And that goal, meanwhile, back here is successful. So the scoreline for Wendy's at the Cherry Red Records Stadium is Leigh 14, London 12. Maybe an opportunity too to Jack Ferrymont with the try, by the way. That widened that lead to 20 points to 4 for El Toro. Wigan over Hull. And back here at Cherry Red Record Stadium for Wendy's, our sponsors Wendy's, who do it fresh. 14-12, Leigh over London with 18 minutes remaining. And here we go with here we go with the Leigh Leopards with the possession, and Edwin Apape is back on the field after a pretty good stint from Brad Dwyer. They keep the ball alive, but they don't go very far. Leigh Leopards, they are 25 metres from their own line and now spreading ball from right to left. And here's Zach Hardiker, and he's in the clear. Hardiker, he got past one defender in Natoli, and then he was hauled in by the cover defence of his fellow Italian Campagnolo. And now here is O'Brien. O'Brien plays the ball on halfway. Apape is fresh after a stint on the bench. It looks like O'Brien, who's been involved in everything today, looks like he got wounded in that tackle. He's slow to his feet, but it's a high kick from Lamb, and Rourke is underneath it. Great chase from the defence of the Leigh Leopards. And Leigh have got Owen Trout on the field now. Owen Trout was the man who made that tackle. And now there's Natoli. Natoli gets some heavy treatment from Apape and Davis. And now Ilias Makani has the ball, and he finds Ollie Leyland. And this is the last place London Broncos trying to get one over the 8th place Leigh Leopards. And London Broncos currently trail 14-12 for Wendy's at the Cherry Red Record Stadium. Ugo Tisson, the replacement hooker for Broncos, he passes back to Campagnolo, and it's a raking kick into the corner where Zach Hardiker, who's starting to make some half breaks, he is brought to ground in centre field. And now Keenan Brand is tackled. And he has Apape at dummy half, looking for a runner, and that runner will be... It's ruled forward from dummy half. Forward from dummy half to Ricky Latelli, and that is a bad error. We'll have a look at that for Opti Payment Systems because that was a bad error from dummy half. That's a coach killer, that error. And I think there was a bit of emotion in that, where the defender was rushing out of the line, and Ricky Latelli could see the defender rushing up out of the line, and he had half an eye on the defender and not on timing his run. And as a result, Campagnolo has the ball and is feeding a scrum 40 metres out in the middle of the field. The London Broncos trying to get that lead back from Leigh Leopards. It's for Wendy's with 15 minutes to go. It's 14-12. Leigh over London at Plough Lane. And Hugo Tisson is anxious to get this next play underway. He's pushing the defenders off, and he goes to Leyland, who goes to Campagnolo, who fumbles. Josh Rourke races through, picks up the ball. Capagnolo's so disappointed in himself. He doesn't initially fall on the ball. And that gives us a chance to go around the grounds for El Toro. And there are the scoreline with 18 minutes left was, well, after the kick, was 22-4. Wigan over Hull. Patrick Mago in the sin bin for the Warriors. But back here to Plough Lane, Leigh Leopards have the ball after that fumble from Jack Campagnolo. And this game really in the balance. A reset tackle count there for a second effort in defence from London. And Ipape appeals for another one. No, he says play it again. It's not Sam, unfortunately. And there goes the try scorer from the first half, Halton. And he's held up in the tackle. He won't go to ground. He'll play it from a standing position. And Ipape has a run himself. And he's in the clear almost. Just grabbed by the rear of his jumper. And it's now goes to O'Brien. O'Brien out to land. And we've got a break here. Kai O'Donnell, and he will score. That is the end of this contest, I think. That is the end of this contest for Leigh Leopards. Kai O'Donnell with the try. And it was just the hands were too quick for the defence. And really, the fumble from Jack Campagnolo was a worry. That was really the maybe the flashpoint of this match, where Jack Campagnolo had the ball, London Broncos down by just 2 points. And instead play comes up to the other side and some quick hands on the left, and Kai O'Donnell backs up inside to score behind the posts for the Leigh Leopards. That try, of course, brought to you by Toby Carvery. And Kai O'Donnell, a player who's come into the system from Australia. He played previously for North Queensland and Canberra. That looks like being the match winner. And this could be the first conversion from Zach Hardiker. He does not take his time. And the scoreline here for Wendy's is Leigh 20, London 12. Will London fold up the picnic chair now? Or will they get back into this game? There's 11 minutes remaining, and repeating that score for Wendy's, 20-12, Leigh over London. Around the grounds for El Toro. Well, firstly, maybe we might get a replay for Opti, but around the ball, we'll go around the grounds for El Toro. And the scoreline still 22-4 Wigan over Hull at the Brick Community Stadium. And we get a bit of a break. We might have the opportunity. For a replay a little bit later, because the ball's back in play, and Leigh look hungry for more points. So, and they're already carrying the ball over the halfway line. It's only, I think, the third tackle of this set. It was Tom Amone. He's had his spell. He's back on the field. And Davis is a dummy half for the Leigh Leopards. And now it's Lamb. And Lamb to O'Brien. O'Brien puts in a little kick, but Natoli's got it. No. Natoli couldn't keep control of it. And now Gareth O'Brien got it back. He's been a good player today for Leigh, Gareth O'Brien. Here's Lamb, and Lamb to Holt. And he's tackled about 11 metres out. Did they interfere in the ruck there? Penalty. Yeah, Ugo Tisson penalised for interfering in the play of the ball there. I'm not sure the referee there, Jack. I'm not sure he actually saw what happened. I think he probably used circumstantial evidence for that penalty, but it was nevertheless probably also the right decision. And Tom Amone drives the Steeden to 5 metres out from the scoreline. Here's Edwin Apape now, and he finds Davis. Davis, a short pass to Halton, and Halton is hauled down about 3 metres out. And now it's a short pass. Edwin Apape goes himself. Does he get the ball down? Referee Jack Smith is not sure. He says no, held up. Edwin Apape thought for all money that was a try for the Papua New Guinea international, but he's been pointed back to the 10-metre line to play the ball, and I'll have another shot, will the Leigh Leopards. Ball comes to the left towards us, and there's Zach Hardiger there, and he tries to keep the ball alive, tries to get that right mitt free of the tackler, unable to do so. And now we've got O'Brien. O'Brien finds O'Donnell, and he sort of crawls along the turf. They've stacked this left side, but the ball actually goes right. And it's a kick from Lamb, and Rourke cleans up that kick, and this game is still alive. No try there for the Leigh Leopards, and London, they do need to score twice. They need a try converted, and they need a penalty goal to take us into golden point. And right in centre field is Jared Bassett. Ugo Tisson is at dummy half now. And there's Hakim Maludi, comes off the bench. Anything could happen now. Hakim Maludi sent on with 8 minutes remaining in this contest. And who knows what's ahead of us in this 8 minutes ahead. Certainly not going to be boring with Hakim Maludi on the field. And now it's Tisson. Tisson has a kick out of dummy half. And Keenan Brand chases the ball back and finally manages to control the ball. And he skirts across the field. And he is hauled down by that London chase. And it's Davis, the two Davis brothers, now Matt and Sam, are on the field at the same time playing against each other. I think they are indeed. And now it's Hardiker at dummy half. And Hardiker has a little bit of a run. And he's upended, lands on his back. Good tackle from Davis and also Bassett. And now we've got Darnell McIntosh. And he's just sort of, easing himself into the hit line there. And there's Davis. And Davis finds Lamb. Lamb gets behind the defence. Here's Ricky Latelli heading downfield. He can smell the try line. He passes inside to Gareth O'Brien. And Gareth O'Brien gets a richly rewarded try. A richly rewarded try from a guy who's been involved in everything today. He's got a lot of punishment. And he finishes off with a try. And that try brought to you by Toby Carvery. And now Leigh Leopards are home. And that scoreline for Wendy's is 24-12, Leigh over London with a kick to come. I can't be more complimentary about Gareth O'Brien today. He's done so much of the tactical kicking. He's done so much of the hard work. I'm sure he's been talking a lot. There's enough people here that I can't hear him talk. But Gareth O'Brien has probably been my favourite for Leigh Leopards today. And he scores a try, brought to you by Toby Carvery, home of the roast. And let's go round the grounds for El Toro now. Going round the grounds for El Toro is 7 minutes to go. And the scoreline remains 22-4 at the Brick Community Stadium, Wigan over Hull. So the two teams level on the bottom rung of the ladder in Super League. They're both going to lose today. I don't know how well Hull played, but I do know that I do know that London have had a real dig here today. And with a bit of luck, this game could have been closer. But for Wendy's, that scoreline is Leigh 24 and London 12, with a kick to come from Zach Hardiker. And Zach, everyone's quiet. You can probably hear me from here. And the goal is good. So it's 26-12 now. Leigh over London with 5 minutes remaining at the Cherry Red Records Stadium. And as I said, a well contested game, which Leigh have just grabbed it by the scruff of the neck. Having said all that, they did miss 3 conversions in the first half, so it could have been out of London's reach much earlier if Zach Hardiker had found his kicking boots a bit earlier. Short kickoff where London attempt to get it back. They haven't been successful in that endeavour. So now it's Darnell McIntosh with the ball, and he has a bit of a run. And now McIntosh will find Latelli. A grotesquely forward pass. And referee Jack Smith pulls that up. And this game will wind down a little bit now, I would suggest. Congratulations to all those Leigh fans who've made the journey. Long journey, 4.5 hours on a good day. And a little birdie told me that when they stopped at the petrol station, the supporters bus, the team bus was there as well, which meant there were people posing for photos and wanting autographs. And as a result, everyone was a bit later than they intended to be. But nevertheless, it's a scrum win now for the London Broncos. Jack Campagnolo passes infield to Davis. Davis was not expecting the ball. He thought he was a dummy runner, I guess. And now it's going to be the Leigh Leopards through Lachlan Lamb, who will feed the ball 12 metres on the London side of halfway. And it comes out as expected in favour of the Leopards. And Myler Hanley has a little bit of a run, as he has done a number of times in that situation this afternoon. And here is Frankie Halton with the ball. Brad Dwyer's back on now, but Davis remains on the field as well. And Leigh are 10 metres into the opposition half. And Dwyer is absolutely battered in a great tackle from Reece Kennedy, who then gets tangled up with him. I think they were both at Hull KR at the same time, I think. And I don't think they like each other. I really don't think they like each other. And here's Dwyer. I'm not sure if they were both at Hull KR at the same time, actually. I'll take that back. But I don't think they like each other, nevertheless. Even if they weren't there at the same time. And here's Gareth O'Brien. He finds Amon. And now it's going to be Gareth O'Brien with the ball. He finds Lamb. Lamb shapes to kick, but he passes to Hardiker. Hardiker tries to evade a tackle, but he is brought to grief some 8 metres from the line and only 10 in from touch. And now play will go to that sprawling open side where Gareth O'Brien finds Amon. Amon's happy to take the tackle. He looks around as if sort of trapped in a cave, looking for a rescuer. But he's brought to grief. And Lamb is trying to set up a try here, a second try for O'Donnell. But O'Donnell is well held, and it's going to be a handover. 2 minutes to go, and London looking for a chance to go down fighting really here. The best they can do, I guess, would be a breakaway try and an 8-point loss. Leigh have other thoughts, however. They're trying to drive Leigh Kershaw back into his own end goal, and they are able to do so. Good defensive effort from the Leigh Leopards. So Leigh here are trying to turn a 14-point win into a 20-point win with a try off a line dropout. No reason why London should hurry with this line dropout, but it's a short one from Ollie Leyland, and it is well taken there from Amila Hanley, and he won't take the tackle. He's still alive. He's dancing like a boxer, before eventually being brought down 4 metres from the line. Dwyer with the ball. Dwyer to Davis. And he's tackled just to the left of the post, as I always say. The right if you're defending, the left if you are attacking. Dwyer now will go centre field to Amone. These London players, they do not want to surrender another point, let alone 4, but they may have done so. The ball comes out. The ball comes out, and for Opti Payment Systems, we can check and see exactly what has occurred here. It looked like the effort of Leigh to score another try in the final minute had come to naught. The ball was loose in the tackle as Tom Amone charged at the try line. He looked to offload as always. The ball came out, and did a teammate race through and regather the score? Referee Jack Smith says he did. He says the ball went backwards and not forwards. I guess the other alternative is sideways. So sideways is okay as well. And now we've gone to the video referee Chris Kendall to see exactly what happened here. Might even be able to get the number plate of the teammate who was very alert. Teammate who was very alert there is Aaron Penne. And he is had his eye on the ball. He could see that it came loose in Tom Amone's grasp. It spewed out really to the right. So Tom Amone kind of arrowed in at the left upright. The ball spewed out to the right. And Aaron Penne, mid-season signing from the NRL, he picked it up and scored. And he gets a big hug, Aaron Penne. And now the scoreline for Wendy's, it's getting, it's big now. It's 30-12, Leigh over London. So a real wet sail for Leigh Leopards after the scores were tied at 12 apiece midway through that second half. But they've certainly managed to pierce tiring defence for London Broncos. You can hear the siren in the background. The try, of course, brought to you by Toby Carvery, Aaron Penne. And it's converted. So for Wendy's, full time here at the Plough Lane Stadium, sponsored by Cherry Red Records. 32-12, Leigh over London. Thanks for joining us here at rugbyleague.com. And don't forget, we are broadcasting 24 hours a day at rugbyleague.com. If you like what you've heard, then you can turn us on any time of the day or night. Rugbyleague.com. So thanks to everybody for tuning in, and more commentaries to come, including some very interesting postseason stuff, which I can't tell you about now. Thank you.
Counts. You hear him singing happy birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday. 34. I had locked them when I was 8. Yeah, probably is. Apparently, a relative of mine,
Oh, okay.
and it caught me and Trevor on, because we'll be out Lonnie.
Yeah. If you're sitting in the press box at these games, you do.
Just came straight through them.
Hi, Alex. You there? Leigh.